This was the final episode of Raw from the Thunderdome. It's been a wild ride for WWE in the past year, and the company will finally start touring. Raw kicked off this week with the New Day in the ring as we headed for our first match between Bobby Lashley and Xavier Woods, and we also had developments in all of the programs heading to Money in the Bank this Sunday. But let's get straight into Lashley and Xavier Woods. Lashley had the upper hand early on and was tossing Woods around the ring and into the turnbuckles before Xavier hit back to the gut and even things with a senton. Lashley bounced back with Woods and hit a tornado DDT off the counter before sending the Almighty over the top rope for a huge dive. Woods then tried to hit a submission, but Lashley broke out of it. The WWE Champion hit a spine buster before sending Woods face first into the ring post. Lashley hit an enormous spear on Xavier Woods, but failed to get the pin before trying to get Woods back into the hurt lock. Woods reversed it and hit a roll up himself to get the win. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. To be honest, I'm really not a fan of the WWE Champion losing, especially less than a week before his defence. And backstage on Raw, we learnt that MVP left the arena after a humiliating loss before Eva Marie and Doudrop were in Alexa's playground, and Alexa insisted she only invited Doudrop after Eva Marie kept asking questions. Marie was furious that Alexa wanted to focus on Doudrop and left the set after making fun of Bliss in their show. Alexa moved on after making some snarky comments about how Eva was such a diva before Jinder Mahal was out next. Faked an apology to Drew for stealing his sword. Drew showed up on the Titantron when Jinder revealed the shield. It was broken in half. However, McIntyre revealed that the sword Jinder stole was fake before showing off the real one and proceeding to destroy Jinder's motorcycle before Riddle tried to tell Nikki Ash that she would fly to the top rope to win Money in the Bank. And then we got a fatal four-way match between Asuka, Naomi, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Asuka and Alexa squared off as the match began before Naomi joined in and took a crossbody from Bliss. Naomi and Asuka forced off, and so did Asuka and Nikki. Asuka took Naomi out with a DDT and she almost got pinned. Eva and Doudrop were out to watch the match, and Alexa headed towards them and went past Doudrop and screamed at Eva. Doudrop attacked her and then dumped her over the barricades, but then she disappeared. Back after the break, Asuka was dominating the match while Alexa was nowhere to be seen. Naomi went for a double cover, but Asuka and Nikki got out of their moves. The trio tried to trade submission moves, but Nikki rolled off Asuka to get the win. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. This was a decent enough match. All the promos before kind of makes sense. So yeah, in the whole, it was an okay period of Raw this. Viking Raiders were backstage on Raw and said that they were going to defeat AJ and Omos in single matches before taking the tag team titles from them, before Styles was out next and apologised for calling the Viking Raiders barbarians, but then doubled down, calling them hairy and smelly and other names like that, and they said that they would destroy them in single matches. We started off with AJ v Ivar. Ivar had the upper hand as the match began before hitting a huge splash in the corner. Omos ran a distraction, letting AJ get back in control and went for a chin knock. Ivar then hit a crossbody splash before flattening him with a clothesline. Ivar managed to counter AJ and hit a huge slam, taking out the tag champ for the win. Did not see this coming. That gets a 5 out of 10. Why do you have AJ Styles lose? He's so great. Before we got Eric versus Omos. Eric tried for a German suplex right away, but he got spotted away before he could do anything. Omos then tossed Eric into his back, but the latter escaped a huge boot before getting caught in a bear hug. And that continued as Raw continued. Eric unloaded on Omos in the corner before Omos managed to take Eric down with a double-handed choke slam and get the win. I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. 6 out of 10 for the Omos match, how he should be backed, but where the hell is AJ Styles losing? I get 50-50 booking, but that was just ridiculous. Stage, Sheamus yelled at Pearson DeVille for not caring about setting up a match against Humberto while his nose was still broken. Sheamus went off to attack Humberto and destroy him using backstage equipment. Humberto was knocked out, but he's insisted that he should take the match, and Sheamus basically hit a brogue kick right away to get the win, and he came back after the win and attacked Humberto, kicking him on the mat and yelling at him. Damian Priest came out as Sheamus retweeted. Yeah, good to see Damian Priest back. Kind of feel bad for Humberto, but 6 out of 10. But anyway, Ricochet was backstage on Raw and talking to Riddle, God help him. Riddle said he planned to cash in on the tag team titles with Randy before Miz and Morrison showed up and sprayed their dipsticks before John Morrison versus Ricochet kicked off. Morrison had the upper hand early on and dropped him onto the apron before going for his wheelchair, but Morrison failed to get the pin before sending Ricochet in the barricade over and over. Ricochet then hit a German suplex and got a near fall before hitting huge 450 splashes from the top of the barricade to the floor. Ricochet rushed up to the top and hit another big splash from the top of the ring post. Back after the break, Morrison set up a ladder on the announcement table and the apron before they headed up the ramp to the stage. Ricochet then hit a Hurricane Rana and the two stars headed backstage where Morrison continued to beat him down. They headed back out in the ring as Raw continued, and Ricochet rolled Miz down the ramp and used his momentum to attack Morrison. Miz used the dripstick to distract Ricochet and Morrison, but failed to get the win. Riddle came out and turned Miz on his back in the wheelchair so he couldn't roll away. Ricochet hit a recall in the ring before putting Morrison on the ladder, and that was set up for a dive through it, getting the win. I'm giving this 7 out of 10. This was really entertaining and good for Ricochet to get the big win. Ripley versus Natalya was next. Ripley was dominating the match after that after kicking Natalya, but the tag team champs came back with a kick and they reversed each other's moves and pin attempts. Ripley sent Natty outside before she could lock in the sharpshooter and later made her out at ringside. Natalya hit a huge discus clothesline and we headed for the breaks before Ripley hit a huge Northern Light suplex of her own before we headed to a near fall. Natty locked in the sharpshooter but Rhea rolled through and sent her into the corner. Ripley got the sudden riptide after a kick and ended the match in her favour. I'm going to hit 6 out of 10, just basic TV match really. Charlotte Flair attacked Ripley after the match and hit a figure 8 before walking off. Just the final build up for the pay-per-view, kind of what we expected to be honest. MVP was back with the VIP lounge and invited Lashley out, but there was no sign of the champ. After the third introduction, the Almighty showed up, but he was dishevelled and unenthusiastic as he sent the goals away to talk to MVP alone. Bobby admitted Kofi was right and MVP was the cause of him getting out of touch. Lashley said that they needed to get back to business and all the other stuff had to stop before trashing the stat. Lashley got on the mic and said that he would tear Kofi in half at Money in the Bank and warned the former WWE champion that his career would end on Sunday. I did not see this coming, but I kind of love it. Just don't break up Lashley and MVP. And this is the side of Lashley that we all want. The ladies and that were fine, but just this version of Lashley, please. Overall this week, Raw gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought this Raw was pretty okay. Of course, there were some ups and downs. It's Monday Night Raw. No 3-hour show is going to be perfect, especially not Raw. But, new attitude for Lashley, and some really decent matches in there. Ricochet having a great match, which is just so good to see. So, on the whole, it was okay. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Remember your thoughts, comments down below. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news. And subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.